So imagine you are about to run for prime minister and you know the government is about to screen your ass for a conflict of interest because, you can't be making policy that directly impacts the value of your own businesses or assets that you own. So right before you get elected, you create what people call a trust. Now, a trust is just like a separate entity outside of yourself that you can just like put assets into. And then, you don't necessarily own the assets, the trust owns the assets, but you control the trust. Now, when you get elected as prime minister, not only do you not own anything, but you don't actually have to share with the public what you're actually invested in because you don't own anything. The trust owns everything, but you control the trust. Well, that's exactly what Mark Carney did, and he moved over $6.9 million worth of stock over to a trust that he created prior to just getting elected as prime minister. And I was curious if we could also invest in the things that Mark Carney is invested in if we could figure out what that actually is. It turns out he moved $6.9 million over to funds created by Brookfield Asset Management. This is his former employer, and those funds happen to be open to the public. So in this week's newsletter, I'm going to go over what those funds actually are and what businesses are held within those funds and how those align with every one of Mark Carney's speeches that he's released in the last little while. I have watched 20 hours of his speeches and aligned those with the funds that Brookfield Asset Management actually has. There's no guarantee that these investments will go up in value, but what is a near certainty is that when a politician has 93 to 96% of all of his assets invested in a business, there's a good chance that that business will go up in value as that politician starts to make policy changes to affect those businesses. My bet is that Mark Carney enriches himself, and it would be a shame if, I just kept all this information to myself because I've already sent trade notifications out to my paid subscribers, and we are currently invested alongside Mark Carney.